Hello and welcome to Tonight Live with Tush. Now, today is a very special day. Not only because you are watching us, but because I am with one of the most special people on this planet. Guess what? It is actually the most beautiful Ugandan in North America. Yes, like it or not, she was put in a contest, she was voted, and it was agreed by consensus that she's actually the most beautiful and intelligent lady in North America, coming all the way from Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming this wonderful talent who is not only a model by profession, she's also a singer-songwriter, an entrepreneur, she's a motivational speaker who has traveled numerous miles just to talk to ladies about how they can ensure gender equality. She has motivated people on all platforms, including young men who have an aspiration for making a difference in their lives. Again, join me in welcoming Queen. I hope you don't mind me calling you Queen.
No,
right?
I don't. I love it.
Join me in welcoming the Queen of the Night and, of course, the Queen of North America, Miss Uganda 2017-2018, Miss Yvonne Kushemererwa. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Tush.
Are you well? You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. You as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm flattered. Coming from you, coming from you, it means a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We have all heard about you. At least I know most of the people who are viewing right now have been anticipating this interaction. And for those who had never perhaps heard about you, they went ahead to do some research. But again, it's better we hear it from you. Yes. Who is Yvonne Kushemererwa?
Well, Yvonne Kushemererwa is a verb, so I'm continuously evolving. I'm a singer-songwriter first, because music is my first love. I'm Miss Uganda North America 2017-2018. I'm a behavior interventionist. I work with children and youth on the autism spectrum. I'm also a community support worker and a mental health advocate.
Wow,
yes.
Amazing. That's quite a lot in just one individual like this. How do you manage to do all this? What inspires you?
Well, just life, really. The more that we interact with people and see the needs of our communities, you know, you just really feel the push to do better, to use whatever skills that you have, whatever gifts that God has given you to uplift people in community and in society.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, Yvonne, today on this show we hope to achieve a few things. But one, I know there are some young people out there who have always admired the modeling industry. And then I know, for example, there is Patience. Patience, I know you work at Nictel in Bugolobi. Patience already used actually our advert as her status. It's her DP right now as we speak, because she's excited about knowing about this particular singer-songwriter.
Yes. Hi, Patience.
Yeah, and I know she's watching. There is Sarah. Sarah stays in Namugongo. She's 13 or 14. She's sitting her P7 this year. Okay. And the parents approached me the other day and told me, you know what, you need to get and recommend to us a modeling school for this young lady. She's really passionate about it. So today when she heard that we were hosting a beauty queen, she said, I'm going to tune in. Oh. Yes. And there are so many others, you know. Yes. So we hope that by the end of the show, they will be inspired by what you do. Let's start off with our interaction. Yes. And to start with, I just want to know from you, how did you pick interest in the modeling industry?
You know, it's so interesting because I wasn't particularly interested in modeling. I'd been told by friends, you know, oh, you know, you should try modeling on the side. I was more interested in media. You know, I was interested in hosting events or TV shows and radio, doing exactly what you're doing.
Thank you.
But when I moved to Canada, I found out about the Miss Uganda North America program, and it's a leadership program. They just reach out to women in the Ugandan community in North America and just, you know, try to inspire them to do the most for their community. And I just thought, you know, why not? I decided to give it a shot. I was never really interested in pageantry.
Is it?
Much as I'm a singer-songwriter, I think that's something that just, you know, like the catwalk, because that's what's expected of you, believe it or not. Yeah, you have to obviously be graceful on stage and, you know, do the catwalk. But more than that, you know, you're expected to articulate your goals and aspirations in life, really. And yeah, I was just really interested in being that person for the North American community, the Ugandan North American community.
Wow, and that's how your modeling career started.
And that's how it started, believe it or not.
Wow.
And then here I was, you know, getting people asking me to endorse some of their fashion clothing lines, or, you know, some of the lotions.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. And how were you able to beat the stigma that is predominant in Uganda, especially to do with the modeling industry? For example, it would be easy for a parent to say, you know, those are spoiled jobs. You shouldn't go in. You're going to be spoiled. You're going to be wasted. Yeah. There are those who make it worse and say you're going to be a prostitute or something like that.
Unfortunately, that narrative still exists, which is sad, because I believe whatever platform we're given, we should use it for the most, we should use it to express whatever we believe we would like to see in the world. Right. And for me, this opportunity, you know, just showed up at my doorstep. And yes, I do agree that this perception of modeling being an industry that exploits women. Obviously, as a parent, I can understand how a parent would hold the child back from participating in something like this. Right. But also I'm hoping that, you know, with women like us coming out and showing that it's not just about
exploitation.
You know, and it's not really exploitation. I know this happens in the industry, but I think that the more that women like myself, like Queen Abenacho, you know, come out, and, you know, parents will see this and be like, oh, okay, you know what, this is a leadership platform, you know, an opportunity for my daughter or son, who knows, to come out and, you know, be a leader in their community and inspire other youth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And normally I know when these beauty pageants take place, in order to show the world that it's not necessarily, it's not even exploitation, but rather an opportunity for women to express themselves and lead, right from their physical appearance to their intellect. They are challenged to come up with a project of some sort, or an aspiration of some sort. What was yours in this case?
There was lots.
Okay.
There was lots, but I had to, you know, funnel it down to what would be most important for Ugandans, both in North America and here in Uganda. Right. As a community support worker, I work with persons with mental health issues, and that's something that I've become very passionate about. Right. And so when they asked me what I would like to use my platform for, my reign, I definitely felt that that part of my life had to come alive, you know, using that platform. And so I decided to focus on children and youth with developmental disabilities and mental health issues, addiction, which, by the way, is hitting us hard in Uganda. It's not something that we talk about that much, but it's definitely a huge issue right now.
It is.
And so yes, I decided to focus on that, which is also something that I'm actively doing. Right. And yeah, I'm also looking for opportunities to volunteer anywhere. So reach out to me if yeah.
Indeed. And what was the reaction your family gave the moment you told them that you were getting involved in such a move?
My parents were, well, it was a shock, because obviously they'd never heard me say anything about pageantry. So it was kind of like, okay. What is this?
Can you imagine? Did you just... what is this?
Yeah, I'm imitating my dad there. But they've always been very supportive. Okay. It's so funny because when I started the campaign, my dad printed like little flyers and went around the entire village.
Is it?
He went to the church, he went to restaurants and left flyers, and he was telling people to vote for me because you had the opportunity to vote.
Yes.
Yeah, it was, and it really touched my heart.
It is touching mine right now. That's so supportive.
He is very supportive. My mom as well. You know, she's the leader of the Mothers Union in my village, and you know, she went into her group and she was telling them, "Oh, my daughter, Miss Uganda, let's pray for her." And the entire church was praying. So, yeah, they were very supportive. My siblings too, my friends on social media. So I was just overwhelmed by the support that I got.
Amazing.
Yes.
And your friends, I would imagine, made it better for you?
Oh, wow. My friends were so supportive. Like every day I would just see my picture being shared all over social media.
Right.
Vote for Kushe, vote for Kushe. Yeah, and it really encouraged me to, you know, to keep on with the pageant, because at some point I thought, oh my God, is this really for me? Should I pull out? But yeah, I was really supported by friends and family. So.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Now we do see you get into the modeling industry, away from music and singer-songwriting sort of career. Tell us about that bit of your life.
Well, I've never really neglected music, because again, like I said, it's my first love.
Right.
And I just use my music still as a platform to, you know, be Miss Uganda North America.
Wow.
Modeling, I do, it's not really commercial at this point. I've gotten a few opportunities here and there to endorse products, skincare, and, you know, clothing, a clothing line, which was a big deal for me, because the thing is, and we keep thinking this, and this is one of the reasons, by the way, why I felt the Miss Uganda North America pageant was one that I could participate in, is because they didn't limit the women. They didn't say, oh, you know, you have to be this height.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, because I'm not you've seen me, I'm not a tall woman.
You're not tall, you're not, well, I call them, forgive my language, I love to use the word skinny in the name of being slender.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
And you're not that.
No, I'm a curvy girl.
Yes,
I'm slim, thick, as they say. It's like a new genre of a body type.
Wow.
But yeah, I just thought that it was very open, because Ugandan women are not just slender, they're not just curvy, they're not, we're built in just different different shapes. And so I was just really, I was proud of them for making that move, saying, hey, women in North America, come as you are, we don't mind. And yeah, I felt that was brilliant. That was amazing, yeah.
Amazing. I'm tempted to ask you about our Miss Curvy contest, but we'll come to it later. I want to save the best for the last.
Yes.
So here you are writing and singing.
Yes.
And also presenting on radio. Then you get an opportunity to travel, and the first thing you do is you enroll for a beauty pageant. What happens to your music career? Do you still sing, first of all?
I do still sing.
How did you start to sing?
That's such a tricky question, because no one ever knows when they started walking.
Right.
And for me, music was like that. It was just, I was singing and walking at the same time, walking, talking.
Wow.
So I can't really look back. But professionally, I started doing music in 2010, I believe. I was doing background vocals in studios, and I met with it's a studio called First Love Studios in Entin, and they were just so good to me. They nurtured me and mentored me as an artist.
Right.
And I used to do jingles on radio and TV.
Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not. And I'll do baby voices too.
Oh, really? Will you give us a sample? Please do. Please do.
Oh my gosh,
this is so
embarrassing.
Let's do a jingle for the Tush and Kush show on Tonight Live with Tush.
Welcome. This is Tonight Live on Kush with Tush and Kush. Well, that was not baby voice in the end, but yeah. When I get in my element, I can do it. Right now with these lights, I kind of feel like, oh my gosh, people. But yeah, I used to do that for a living and do music as well. And that's where I recorded my first single,
yes.
Maya.
Okay.
And then I did Kanywani, and then later did Take You to Africa, which was one of my big hits.
Oh, yes.
I would like to think.
Oh, yes, it was.
And then I moved to Canada, and I did some collabos with a few artists there.
Right.
I'm still doing that. Yeah, I've never really left music. People think, I mean, because I was doing school, I had to give it a break for a bit and concentrate on my studies. But I'm back with a bang.
Wow, amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Of course, I know most of you are curious on whether we will sample you with some of our music. Of course, we will. So do be patient. But you can also Google some of these things and authenticate them. Not only to authenticate, but to be impressed, more impressed than you are right now. Away from that, before we go for our break, I wish to know this interest in children and youth with mental disabilities. What inspired you? What pushed you towards that? Was it just something that your academic career led you towards, or there was something else?
That's a good question. I remember a time in my life when I was probably 7 or 8. An aunt of mine came to live with us, and she had a mental health issue. And at that point, I didn't really know what was up. Because as a kid, you're just curious. You're like, oh, auntie acts strange. But it just stuck in my mind. I always used to think, I wonder what's wrong with auntie. And, until I came to find out that, she was suffering from a mental health issue. And it's always been, and this is not to brag, but I've always had just empathy for persons, with developmental disabilities. Even in school, when I was in Shimoni demonstration primary school, we had like a specific, they used to call it unit. And that was just for persons with developmental disabilities. But kids used to be scared to like go by that, the unit, as we called it. But they were so friendly. The children with Down syndrome, they were just always friendly and wanting to play with us. And I just, I didn't mind, not to say, the other kids were not good kids.
Yes.
But I just, and that has always just stuck to me. And so when I went to Canada, I picked that as something that I was interested in pursuing. But I've also always been fascinated by the mind and how it operates, and that's something that I'm very passionate about. Any
particular fascinations that you'd like to share with us to do with the mind? I did hear that normal human being uses what percentage of their brain or something, while the great thinkers like Albert Einstein just expound their thought pattern by slightly more than 10% of what we do.
It's so interesting that we hear all these like facts. I think it's just fake news, really, most times. Because if you put your mind to something, it could actually function like Einstein.
Really?
Yes, we all have the capacity and ability to do these things, it's just some of us, are not that interested in, say, mathematics. Some of us are not interested in music. And so that part of our brain is not exercised. But, if you exercise it and you continuously, like, just partake of music or math or whatever you're interested in, then yeah, for sure, your brain is going to jumpstart. And who knows, you'll be a savant.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think you would be able to put up a unit for a special unit for children and youth with mental disabilities, perhaps in the future as a treatment center?
That's definitely something that I see myself doing in the future. I'm not hoping, I'm channeling everything I do to get to that point. Well, I hope that it happens, but I want to do it. And I'm partnering with friends in North America and the Miss Uganda North America organization as well, to bring this dream to life. And so baby steps right now, we're just trying to establish connections on ground and see how we can figure out the logistics. But yeah, it's definitely in the future for me.
Well, that's really interesting. Of course, now when we get back, we're going to be sharing more about your modeling career. And of course, I also understand, for those who don't know, we met at the Africa Now Summit.
Yes.
I am particularly interested in knowing how you pick interest in such events. And perhaps I know someone out there may know that they are not limited to bookworms and a certain level of elites.
Absolutely.
All right, so dear viewer, let's take a very short break. You're still watching Tonight Live with Tush. Stay tuned.
Coming soon on Smart 24 TV.
Bakozi bulungi.
Ndi mukyala mufumbo naye wakasi nayo gwe mulekera.
Naze kola.
Kirungi.
Kazi ni kazi. Mahali kwenye yupo ni mahali tunapokuta. Sisi ni biashara za kawaida.
Welcome back from that break. Ati nyina kuwa challenging. Ask once a chair.
I was just taken by surprise. Wanted a surprise.
Of course. That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Abana Uganda bakuchiza ni bamanyango muntu yashohora Uganda. Nabatakumanya rumirwe kandi na yebwa no kwebwa ebikumkwata. So bazo shocking.
Nga hanyo nyankore ni ndugambaje Uganda ndwogera bulungi manyine engero. Joy Kiswahili na bonga Kiswahili.
Unayogela Kiswahili bulungi.
Na Joy Kiswahili yani nasema kidogo.
Sasa abantu banakulaba bategela jogela Kiswahili.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah. You know, like I said, it's one of those stereotypes. At the moment you cross the boundary, go overseas.
Yeah.
First of all, the accent changes. I'll give you an example. I think it's easy for me, and it happens unconsciously, for my accent to change whenever I'm with someone with a different accent.
Yeah.
It's unconscious. It really happens, and I'm thinking, okay, what just happened? Why do I sound like this?
What just happened?
Yes.
I don't know.
How true is this stereotype? Is it real? Is it a stereotype or it's
absolutely reality? It's real. I've seen it. But you know, I've come to, we used to make fun of people who just go, you know, even for like a month, and then they come back to Uganda and somehow they can't speak their language, and then their accent's different, even if, you know, really the country they went to is not like, you know, America, but they come back with an American accent. Until I came to like just really reflect on it as someone who's been exposed to the Western world, and I realized that people try so hard to fit in, you know, and once you live in like North America, like myself, when I moved there, you know, people just wouldn't understand when I would say the car or the door, you know, and they'd be like, what is that? The car? And then, you know, I realized people roll their R's, you know, and then, you know, you know. So, you know, I had to learn how to articulate myself, well, not really, but enunciate certain words and pronounce them different. But when I'm with, you know, my people, it's, you know, we throw it down the way we talk. But, you know, when I'm at work and people don't understand what I'm saying, I have to roll my R. Oh, car, open the door. And it's sad, really, because you'd expect people to understand you because you're speaking English. We speak English, but yeah. And about, you know, people changing their accents, I think we should have more empathy for them.
Yes, really.
As opposed to just judging them. But, you know, making fun of them, I guess, you know.
It's also another bit of fun, you know.
It's fun, I guess, yeah.
I do recall when, was it S.K. Mbuga's wife, not intending to gossip really, for those who specifically want business, it's another learning point for us.
Yeah.
I think it was either her or someone else on their introduction or wedding.
Yeah.
And they decided to interview them in Uganda.
Oh
Uganda sirumanyi bulungi.
No.
And it was, I think, one of those most embarrassing social media videos for Uganda as a country, for the ladies in Uganda as a gender, and of course for us Ugandans, we felt like, okay, has it come to this point where someone gets out of the country and they are not proud to be Ugandan anymore?
Yeah.
Are you proud to be Ugandan?
Oh my goodness.
How proud
I'm
are
probably one of the most proud Ugandans there is.
Okay.
I feel, yeah. And you know what, Tush, this is something that was being discussed at the Africa Now Summit. You know, is Pan-Africanism is not something that is yet ingrained in many of us.
Right.
Just this pride in who you are as an African. Not so many people are there yet. Right. But, you know, with just people like us, you know, having such conversations like right now, we can foster these conversations, and people need something to be proud of, you know. And hopefully in a few years, you know, people will go to, I don't know, Canada or America, but they'll keep thinking about, you know, Uganda and trying to represent their country and just be themselves. That's the most important thing, is just be yourself wherever you are. Canada, America, China, just be yourself and be authentic.
Interesting, interesting. Along your journey, I would imagine you are actually, as a celebrity, I would imagine you have some challenges.
Yes.
What are those challenges?
That's a very interesting question, because in the modeling industry, as Miss Uganda North America, I feel one of the things that I've battled with is just the sexualization of just you as a person. You know, because when people see you on the catwalk, they assume, oh, you know, she's okay, you know, just maybe catwalking, so maybe, you know, she's a certain type of woman. They kind of like categorize you in this genre of women, and they think that they can easily use you. Yeah, and so, you know, I'd go certain places, and, you know, people would be trying to take pictures with me. Like, some men would be trying to take pictures with me, and, you know, they'll be touching me in areas that I'm not comfortable with. And yeah, at some point I had to address this, and the good thing is the Miss Uganda North America team has always been with me, and so I had somebody, or two people at least, with me. But yeah, that's
your own muscle, right?
Yes.
Your insecurity detail. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's just one challenge. And this is not just me as Miss Uganda North America, but most women face this. You know, you go to a club, and people think that they can just touch your bum. You know, or you're riding the train, and, you know, someone is just, because, you know, they're taking advantage of just so many people being packed in one area, and they're just touching your butt or groping you in places that they shouldn't be touching you. But yeah, that's just one of the issues that I've faced. But also, people don't take you seriously sometimes when you tell them, you know, say for example, oh, I Miss Uganda North America, oh, you're a pageant queen, okay. And they don't think, you know, you can address certain issues, or you don't deserve a place at the table, a seat at the table. Which I think needs to end. You know, I mean, we're seeing people like Queen Abenacho making it to Miss Africa. Yeah, and that's, I mean, she didn't just get there because, you know, she was pretty, but she had something to say, and it had value and substance. And so we need to start having these conversations about understanding the role of, you know, pageantry in propelling women into leadership roles.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Two issues come up. One, your interest in the in the Africa Now Summit
Yes.
could communicate a lot to the group of people that think that being a beauty queen or a pageant
Contestant queen.
yes,
Yeah.
or something like that, you don't mean business. What do you have to say about that exactly?
You know what? It's hard to change everyone's mind, and so I would really like to educate people, but I don't have a big enough platform, you know, to call everyone in and be like, hey, listen, so yes, I am a pageant queen, but I have something to say.
Oh, wow.
You know. But the thing that I would say is, if we as a society can look down on people who have the courage to actually go up and, you know, and try to stand for positions like, you know, Miss Uganda North America,
Right.
you know, because that's a channel for me to express my views and hopefully inspire the youth. So if we as a society are looking down on people like myself, I can only imagine what Omuntu Awansi feels, you know, if because they don't have that platform,
Right.
you know, and so we need to start thinking that we need to start believing really that every platform matters, you know, a P1 child or
Yes.
a P6 prefect or head boy has something to say. Miss
Right.
Uganda North America has something to say. Miss Uganda has something to say. Everybody has something to say, and everyone's voice matters. I know this is, you know, it sounds like I'm romanticizing the idea of just using your voice, but really
Right.
that's the truth.
Yes, indeed.
You know, we need to value everyone's voice and not look down on people, regardless of what platform they've decided to use to
express
elevate,
themselves.
to elevate their voices and express themselves.
Well, interesting. Now that brings me to the second issue. You did earlier on point to the fact that Ugandan women are well, formed or built differently. That's if I may use your
Yes.
words. And again, I don't know whether it's just a coincidence that we are at such a time in the country where people are debating about how proper it is to use. They say that
Yeah.
the Minister of Tourism is using women
Yeah.
to market the country, and I don't know. Well, I'm cautious not to say too much about this.
Yeah.
Let me let you do the commenting.
You know, it's such a sensitive
It is.
topic because one, I don't want to assume that curvy women don't have the right to, you know, participate in pageantry.
Right.
But on the other hand, I don't think it's right to use human beings in general as props for tourism.
You're right.
You know, women especially, because we're very vulnerable to sexual exploitation, trafficking, and all these things. And so, you know, I don't know what message that is sending to the rest of the world, that, you know, these women are just here for you, they're ready, just
Right.
come, you know, we're not animals, you know, that you come and see us. But if there's a pageant that is celebrating women that are curvy, I'm all for that. I'm all for fairness and equality of humans in just the entire spectrum. Women that are curvy, slender, slim, everyone. We should all have the opportunity to express ourselves and to participate in pageantry or whatever it is, whatever competition. I just don't think that using women as a tourism attraction is proper. We have, oh my gosh, we have so much in Uganda that really we shouldn't even be focusing on women. Oh. Have you been to Kabale?
Yes.
Oh my God, I was there for the
tell.
first time.
Do tell.
And I was just mind blown. I was mind blown. I've never seen, I mean, I live in British Columbia, which is a very beautiful part of Canada. Probably the most beautiful, people argue.
Okay.
But I went to Kabale and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't leave.
Okay.
And I was there for 4 days. I was invited by Anne Kansimaid at her backpackers, and I was just stunned at how beautiful our country was and just the drive there.
Wow.
All these things, like we just have, you know, natural beauty that we don't really have to start thinking about
We are not that desperate.
No, we're not desperate. No.
Interesting. Now, do you think it was a good idea, but perhaps expressed in a wrong way?
Well, the thing is, I don't even know. I wasn't there in that meeting to know what this gentleman said. I'm not sure if he said we should use women, or if that was somehow miscommunicated by the media. Right. I don't know. Right. But from just the tweets and all this that I heard, I don't believe in that. I don't support it. Right. Although this is not an attack on him as a person. I don't know. Yes. I really don't know what if he said that. And if he did, then that's wrong, you know. And I think we owe our country just the freedom from such what are they, just really using women or children or whatever. You know, we're already seeing this in Western media. They use African faces for the most horrible things, stories. Yes. And we really don't want to further that narrative. Yes. We need a new one. And I'm glad that you're at the summit, because you're part of the change. Yes, I loved our discussion during the summit.
Thank you so much. And of course, I did too enjoy it so much. That's why we took the liberty of actually inviting you, because sharing with you, it gave us a glimpse into a certain kind of audience that we rarely tap into. I admire the Fountain of Honor in Uganda. Yes. So I'm going to be cautious while asking you the next question. I like his mindset, and I love the way he explains and articulates issues, and the way he leads. Perhaps a few glitches here and there. Now, one of the glitches is, upon the graduation ceremony of Makerere University, the most recent one, he was quoted saying that for those who fail academically and they fail to get jobs, let them go into music and other things. And by other things, it is said that he could have meant areas like modeling, beauty pageants, which rarely require a certain level of academic qualification. Now, the argument out there is, and it's not yet strong, but it in my mind it is resounding. Does that mean that careers such as music, songwriting, commercial modeling, or modeling in any case, are they not actually jobs? Are they not to be respected as income-earning ventures where you can actually focus your child from your kid from childhood to get to that level?
You know, I actually think that maybe sometimes how we perceive what people say somehow distorts the message. All right. If I said that as a musician, I think it would carry a different weight, or meaning. Right. People, because I'm a musician, people would be like, oh well, you know, she's a musician, so she probably is trying to get people on board. You know, if you can't get white-collar jobs, try, you know, music production or something like that. But I think also it shines a light on the shift in industry in Uganda, because I feel like, and this is most recently, the music industry has evolved to the point where really we're getting international recognition now. Yes. I mean, for example, Eddie Kenzo came to Vancouver, Canada, and my goodness, I can imagine. He had the biggest audience. Is it? Yes. Of, you know, because we usually have summer festivals. Okay. And people they just waited until the end for this guy to come perform. Wow. Yeah, and I mean, that just, it sheds light on this industry and how it's evolving. Yes. Yes, music is not something that you just wake up and say, oh, okay, no white-collar job, let me go do music. You know, you actually have to have the gift or, you know, at least the passion for it. Right. But, you know, in case you do have that gift, then why not? Indeed. You know, I feel that we as youth sometimes complain too much. Indeed. And we don't want to, especially the millennials. Yes. I'm a millennial. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, guys, we can do something, okay? yes, we can hold our leaders accountable.
Right.
But at the same time, we can, do something,
Wow.
I don't want to say that I've been, well, I am privileged to have a gift in music.
Yes, please.
But I feel like I've gone an extra mile because there's always been roadblocks, especially as a woman in this industry. You don't just go, oh, I want a gig here. I want to play at Serena or, any of these places. But, you just keep pushing and keep pushing. And if you have a gift or if you have the interest and passion,
Right.
why not?
Wow. Why not?
Why not?
There you go.
Yeah. I don't think music is a bad industry,
Yes.
as you thought. Like maybe he's trying to say, no, just do these jobs like music. I think he probably meant it's something that's thriving now.
That someone can also give it a try and see where they lead.
There used to be a time when we only had how many artists that would hear, Bebekul,
the Chameleons.
Ragadi, those were the big ones. But now you tune in to TV or radio and oh my gosh, it's just one after the other and you don't even know them and all the music's good.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so.
I think I like the way that you've not necessarily attacked anyone, but you've actually made it clear. And I do agree with you that most times we misunderstand the communication that whichever person, especially politicians,
Yes.
or leaders, not necessarily politicians, especially leaders, we at times choose to misunderstand the communication in an interest of picking what we want to get.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate. Now, Yvonne, we are left with a very short time.
Yes.
And I'm tempted to lock you in here so that we do the show the whole night. But you're leaving the country on Monday.
Yes, I leave.
You're no longer. There is a new reigning queen.
Yes.
You're a queen, but there is a reigning queen.
Yes. Shalom Aburu. Queen
Shalom Aburu. Queen
Yes.
Shalom Aburu is the
Yes.
new Miss Uganda North America 2018-2019.
2019, yes.
Yes. What happens to you?
What happened? That's a very funny question.
Indeed.
What happens to me? The saying, once a queen, always a queen.
Okay.
But also, I do believe that I didn't get into the pageant just to, be the reigning queen and then sit down and do nothing.
Right.
What they call just slay with the crown,
Okay.
no. I'm very ambitious, and so I've decided to, have some projects in my village. I'm doing some farming with my parents.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No hinga ninga no.
Vyona ninente.
Hey.
Mpora mpora.
No disente.
Nindisente. Njizaho kulunde na nembuzi. Urutoke. Yes, I'm really interested in farming.
Yes.
Because really, at the end of the day, we all need food.
Yes, indeed.
But also, I have a project that I started last year.
Okay.
It's called Pollination.
Okay.
And it was inspired by just bees and plant life. And I think that we as human beings live the same way as plants and bees. We pollinate, like right now, you and I are pollinating ideas. We might not be aware that we are, but, I've probably sown a seed of pollinated, and
yes,
you have too.
You have a lot.
And, probably the viewers have been pollinated by our conversation.
Wow.
And so through pollination, I had the opportunity of just, inviting artists in Vancouver,
Okay.
In film, in music, and hopefully, we'll just broaden it, because I don't only want it to be in the arts sphere,
Okay.
but we want to broaden it. And so they come here, do collaborations with artists on
In Uganda?
yes, local artists, and then
Wow.
create a new genre of music, hopefully.
Amazing.
And who knows, we might have a concert. We recently had a show,
Okay.
which we call The Harvest, which was at Kubi's in Nalia.
Okay.
And hopefully the next one is going to be in Vancouver. Hoping that we'll have another mashup, some pollination from different nations coming together to make one beautiful piece of art.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
really
there's other
amazing.
small projects that I'm doing on the side. I'm trying to get into business here in
Okay.
Kampala.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
it never ends.
So-
And the mental health thing
Oh,
too.
yes.
Yes. I'm still an advocate for mental health. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. You're gonna ask me
it's
something.
okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Yes, I'm an advocate for persons with developmental disabilities and mental health issues, and I'm always looking for connections and, you know, people that would like my help, whether it's volunteer work or if they would like me to stand for a cause or fundraise. Really good at fundraising, so yeah.
Okay, interesting. Final, not necessarily final question, but one of the final questions.
Yes.
You have lived a life of, I would say, more than 20 years. I would say.
I'm 27. I'm not shy about my age. I'm 27.
Amazing.
Yes.
What have been your highs and lows within the 27 years of existence?
My highs and lows. Shall we start with my lows?
Yes, indeed.
My lows, definitely, when you're uprooted from what you know, like I was, you know, uprooted from Uganda, from this beautiful nation, and it wasn't, you know, by force or anything, but, you know, and I lived in Canada where life was different. You know, I went through cultural shock, number one, but then there's a different vibe. It's so easy for us to get psychosocially integrated here in Uganda. Like, people can just come and be like, oh, okay. You can make friends easily. It is actually said that Ugandans are hospitable, one of the most hospitable countries in the world. True. The most friendly people. Canadians are polite. They're very polite people, but it's not easy to make friends. It was so hard for me to make friends, and I'm a social butterfly. I love human connections. So it was so hard for me to make friends because people are just so closed in. It's my bubble. I remember this one time when I got on the train, because here, when you get into a matatu, in the taxi, if you sit next to somebody, I think that one, you have to say hello. Okay. Isn't that the polite thing to do? It's just how it is. Yeah. You know, just bump into each other. Sorry, madam. It's different there. You don't just say hello to people without, like, what's your agenda? What are you trying to do? Oh, really? Yeah. And so I used to get on the train or the bus, and I would just be saying hello to anyone that I sit next to, and people would look at me like, okay, what does she want from me? And you know, I suffered bouts of just doubt. Was this the right decision that I made? And, you know, depression there is real, especially during the winter. Oh, yes. So that was one of my lows. Spending Christmas without my family was definitely a low. But yes, my highs. Okay. I feel like I'm living at my high right now. Okay. I'm at the peak right now. Wow. Yeah, Miss Uganda North America was a huge platform for me. It was a huge opportunity. So that win really did it propelled me, launched me further into the person that I am. And I'm just really happy that I'm doing all these projects and getting to meet really interesting people like yourself. At the summit, being at the summit and just being amongst these brilliant African minds that are trying to foster and catalyze change in our continent and our country. Okay. So this is really my high right now, and I'm really grateful to God for this moment. Being 27 and doing these things and being able to achieve some of the things that I have. Yeah.
I'll tell you something about my age off air.
Are you younger?
Oh, no. I'm making 28 in October.
Oh, okay. So you're a year older. Okay. Thought you'd...
So I've said it on air. Really? I was supposed to say it to you off air.
Oh, okay. I'm good like that.
You know, someone is teasing me that we are going to finish at midnight.
Oh, is it?
Good. We need to let people go and sleep. I know our dear viewer out there is enjoying the conversation, and this is really amazing. Now, football or movies?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. You're just throwing me under the bus.
One word. Football, movies. Movies, okay.
Yes.
Wine, beer.
Wine.
Interesting. Yeah. Wine, soda.
Soda. Wine.
Wine.
Soda is not good for you. I mean, wine is not either, but it's just, no. It's just too much sugar. Yeah. But why didn't you say water, wine?
Okay, water, wine. I know you'll choose water.
And yourself?
Water.
Water?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Water. I'm literally a person who loves to swim.
Eh?
Water.
Hydrate.
Yeah, I take a lot of water.
That's good.
And let's give some final remarks to especially the young people who are watching and they hope to pick some inspiration from this.
I always used to watch this moment. Oh, final remarks to the youth, and I find it's so interesting that I'm having to do this now. To the youth that are watching this right now, inspire each other. You know, have symbiotic relationships, learn from each other, pick from one another. There's just so much information now on the internet. You know, if you want to learn something, you can learn it on YouTube in like 5 minutes sometimes. So go out, you know, yes, the environment sometimes might not be the best for you, but have what my dad calls umujinya. Umujinya. I think it's grit.
Okay.
I think that's what it is, grit. Loosely translating it, I'm trying to. But yeah, just have the grit and just be passionate about living your life. And don't let anybody stop you from, I know this is very cliche, but it is true. Do not let anybody stop you from trying to achieve what you want to achieve and just following your dreams. Go for it. 110%.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Also, put good first. Like my mom says.
Put good first.
Put good first. Yes.
Mama nichimangu mwana muna kureba reka kusibira munyi akore denti je no miss.
Bueno abakuru mwena mami na daddy mwebare munonge mwankorire byona abajenyi bita batureba hati berizo bamwebare munonga kutuning in Tush mwebare munonga.
Ego sebo. Oh my God. I'm that bad.
Sebo, no, I'm a Mumbeja. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm told when you're called Sebo, you're a Mumbeja, and I'm a queen, so.
Okay, all right. So that's a Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Absolutely.
And we don't take it for granted. I'm very sure our dear viewer does not take it for granted at all.
Yeah.
You're all special to us, and that's why we aspire to inform you, motivate you, and provide the most relevant paths towards your success. Now, Smart 24 Smart Business exists to provide you with relevant business content, and this is your business if you have been watching. So thank you so much. Please don't lose hope in whatever you're doing. It could be at that moment in life where it's not going well. Do not lose your hope. Do not lose your strength. There are those moments that are always going to come. It's like you have daylight and you know that darkness must come. Just have the hope that the next day will actually shine. So be hopeful, have a clear glimpse into the future, envision your future, paint your canvas the way you want it to be, and work hard towards that. Be as inspirational and ambitious as our dear guest tonight, the Queen herself, Miss Yvonne Kushemererwa. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in to yet another special edition of Tonight Live with Tush. Till next time, stay tuned.